Okay. Music's going. Microphone's going. Twitch redeems are going. Thank you for redeeming the lurk there, Kellen. Ah. Crunchy. Crunchy, 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 crunchy. I never remember to do my crunch after the fact. Ugh. Okay. Yep. Okay. Good? Good? We're live? Okay? Everything. Gotcha. Okay. Hey there, heroes! My name is Hero Girl, your friendly local neighborhood hero tuber, and this is The Daily Grind. This is that time of the day where we come on and we grind our dailies. Today is July 7th, 2026. Tuesday. Tuesday, isn't it? Whew! And today, we've got a green-white daily. Got a green-white daily, and I could go into the comp queue and play some Tifa. But, you know, Tifa decks don't typically get to play a ton of spells before they just, like, win. Assuming that we can get through the barrage. I haven't actually tried out Tifa yet, so that would be a good learning experience. But honestly, if I'm being honest, yeah. Or rather, I guess if I adhere to where my heart currently lies, I really want to pick up Rinoa again. I had a lot of fun playing Rinoa before. We still have a lot of work to do on the deck. Still have some things to figure out. But I do have some theories that I think we can work with. Lucky, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, we're going to bring the girl back. We're going to try a few things out. So, first things first, we do have a couple of the new Marvel cards in there. We've got Amazing Spider-Girl, which better rip Parker. I was a big fan of the Spider-Girl comics. We also have Jennifer Walters, the Amazing She-Hulk. The Sensational She-Hulk, even. Kind of fits exactly the mold that we want, as in, like, she's a big creature with trample that Rinoa can pump up. And then she just gets to straight up replace the Grand Arbiter in the deck. She's easier to cast. She has a bigger body because she has 3 on the booty, as opposed to just being a 2-2. We're also going to be trying our hand at running a bunch of the raw creatures, like Gallant Citizen, Wall of Blossoms, Elvish Visionary. We're going to try and use these to help build our board state without costing ourselves gas. Because I remember one of the issues that we were having was just like running out of steam once we got to the point where we would be playing Rinoa. I want to figure out the mana curve a little bit. Flare of Cultivation and a couple of Mana Dorks only go so far. But we also want to be dropping a lot of stuff. Like ideally we go turn 1, Mana Dork, turn through, probably play something along these lines. Turn 3, play out a couple of Mana Dorks and or draw card effects, reload our hand, then drop Rinoa. Bright Glass Gearhulk is also a good one. Or Borrowed is another one here that's just here to help like take advantage of our wide board state and start pushing a lot of damage really fast. We've taken out a lot of the can't be countered type stuff. Not just because, like, you know, they took out a lot of the more powerful counter spells, but also because I think I just want to, like, push damage. While some of the Destiny Spinner type cards that say can't be countered are okay. Like, when you get matched up against non-blue cards, you just need stuff. Some of them are, like, good, but, you know, I do want to try out the raw card effects. You got Germination Practicum in here as another way to be like an Ouroboros to take advantage of our huge board state. Because really what I want to do with Rinoa, I want to gum up the board. I want to gum up the board with a bunch of things, and I just want to like take advantage of the board state and punch him dog cannon. So we're going to get that try. Actually, hold on. Hold on. There we go. Dope Witch. Wife's been playing Dope Witch on her Twitch. So, you know, kind of have that on the way. Oh, we also do have Captain Marvel here. I want to try Captain Marvel in a few different decks. I don't anticipate her being a huge haymaker, but like, you know, Flash certainly make the Bane Slayers a lot better. And we'll go ahead and we'll just like literally just hop into the queue and start playing Magic. And then where the change-up comes, I think... Actually, hold on. I'm going to change my avatar on that one. We have a little bit of a change-up with Final Fantasy. I might... Let's see. Depending on, like, where we are with PvP. Like, I still need to do my daily PvP. I want to get the seasonal reward and stuff like that. But once we're done there, I think I want to change things up so that way we're not just... I need a bit of Final Fantasy. So this might be the point where we finally get around to doing, say, the side quests. Or maybe I start doing some Palace of the Dead. Maybe we go fishing. There's a whole wide world of stuff out there, and if you're getting tired of doing any one particular thing, like, just change it up. Just change it up. The only issue with trying to keep up everything forever is time limit. Weekly Wondrous Tales. There's always going to be weekly Wondrous Tales. It might not be, like, as easy to do once we get the Stormblood, because we can't do those dungeons solo. We would definitely want to have all the Realm of War and stuff for that to be nice and easy. But we'll need Poetics in the future, so, like, holding off on those isn't, like, a terrible option. Feral Chief Compliance. Okay, so this is either going to be... look how fast they mulligan that. This might be the Oracle stats combination. We have Elite Spellbinder, kind of helps out with it. Of course, the Plowshares. They Thoracle. What am I doing to stop that? And I guess I'll hold on to this. Then I'll literally just pass the turn, Swords Barrel. We'll draw with a dog. I've got enough lands here that we can play the Spellbinder for anything that they kept. And if this is like an actual control matchup, you know, unlikely, but possible. If it is like a control matchup, then I don't hate what we have here. I just have to, like, be able to pick them before they actually do anything. Not sure what else we would have that could, like, deal with that. If I go Bird of Paradise now, I can go Giver of Runes, do Spellbinder. I want Spirit Companion to, like, draw into, like, an actual answer. Yep, and then there's the Bounty of the Deep. Yep. So... What? Oh my god. Did they Bounty of the Deep and then they didn't even get the right combination? That's what it has to be, right? Yeah, that's exactly what it has to be. So then, yeah. Notably, Spellbinder only, like, makes it cost 2 more. So we're still a little behind the ball. I don't know. It's weird because, like, the way that I would typically stop a deck like that would be to have the interaction on the sack. Or, like, Thoughtseize the card effects, but we're not playing a deck that has either of those. Because if we can rip the cards out of their hand, that's fine. Elite Spellbinder definitely slows them down, so we have to, like, kill them ASAP. But we're definitely not doing that as fast as what we could be doing. Like, I could double spell. I could go Dog and Jennifer, and that does add like 3 points to the board, but so does just playing the flyer. And then I play Renault on the next turn. Then I can start loading everything up, I guess. I don't know. It's dodgy. I think we actually just before they finish getting it off, though. Because the way that the Thoracle combo works is that they use Treasure Hunt to draw their entire deck, and then they play Thoracle, and Thoracle just says, like, they win the grab having no deck. Tony gets to go first. We're playing Azusa Lost But Seeking. So we have to find a way to, like, out-turbo them. Skyleaf Apparition can help reset that. Only has 2 lands, though. If I could go Kami, play the Plains. You have Virtue of Loyalty and Bristlebane Battler. have to hit that third land. Like, interaction here is not bad. Skycliffe Apparition can even, like, hit other stuff. The Static Prison might be enough to bail us out here. Would Spirit Tribal be fun? Depends on what you're looking for. Like, any tribal can be fun. But usually what ends up making the deck fun... Ah, shit, they got Library of Alexandria. Yeah, that's just a free draw every turn. Anyway. Usually what makes a deck fun is going to be not just, like, the creature type that you're using, right? But what you're building the deck to do. Because, like, you say it's a spirit deck, and that only says, like, half of what it is. It's not just a spirit deck. It's like, is it a control deck? Is it an aggro deck? Is it, like, a mid-range pile? Like, what's going on here? Like, the one thing that I would teach new players, like, if you learn nothing else, then know this. It's that the deck that you want to build should never just be a... It is a... Skycliffe Apparition, that. I can Static Prison and Invert Loyalty, or I can go Static Prison as first tier. Like, if you just, like, put in all the creature types, then that's a really unfocused game plan. And playing a bunch of the creature types is fun to a degree. But I think there's also a lot of joy when you can figure out something cool to do with the creature type. So, like, I have a spirit deck. And what I kind of decided to do was very simple, Formidable Speaker. And then, yeah, they could just go ahead, Azusa. Formidable Speaker discards a card, searches. Nope, that's probably good. I just went with, like, aggro token. It's very simple, but it gets the job done. Okay. Formidable Speaker comes down. I don't have a way to stop that. Nissa Resurgent is probably, like, the biggest issue. 3, 4, 5, 6. They'll draw for turn. They'll get another one off the Library of Alexandria. What am I doing here? What am I doing with my life? I probably want to go Static Prison first. We'll go ahead and drop Helpful Hunter or Studious first year. I don't think I have time for the first year, though. If I drop like a knight... No, I want to draw because I want to try and hit a drop. And if I hit a green land drop, then I can play the first year as well. With your squirrel deck, it comes down to making a lot of squirrel tokens that swing. You're joining an expensive hobby. That's what you're doing. I mean, like, that's not wrong. God damn it. Alright, so they just have infinite house now. Not hitting the Azusa, it's problematic. That. But also, like, it doesn't have to be expensive. Like, I play on Arena, it doesn't really cost me anything. It's definitely expensive in terms of, like, time and energy that you're putting into it, that's for sure. And if you're building a commander deck, like, you can build good decks for, like, cheap. Like, we're talking 20, 50, 20, somewhere in the ballpark of, like, $20 to $50 cheap. Which, you know, for some people, they might look at that and go, like, ew, you're paying $50 for cardboard? But it's also like, you know, it's all contextual. Hey, I'm really only going to get through this if I somehow, like, aggro through. Grazer's good. They have so much mana, they can they're just literally sandbagging that until they have a chance to just, like, go. Alright, so here's... blow up the wall. And then... play out the studious first tier first. That's what's gonna let us go bigger punchies. You'd rather spend money on cardboard than on alcohol or drugs? Honestly, alcohol or drugs would be cheaper. I've drawn so many cards off that library. And I think what I need to do rather than play Renoa if I hit my 5th land drop is play Virtue of Loyalty. If I don't, I'll just make the Night token cast Rampant Growth. Pray to God that we have gone wide enough. Nope, there's Convoke. 4 mana, they probably grab Ice Tiller Explorer. I would not be shocked. Yep, there we go, Ice Tiller Explorer. Which, unfortunately, does eat the Apparition. And blocks the Lauren as well. How much do you like fractals? I love fractals. Fractals are fantastic. One of these days, Teddy, you're gonna get the chance to see a cool fractal deck that I built. I'm not building it like anytime in the immediate future, but like, oh, and they keep getting life off of the Broker's Hideout too. That's obnoxious. Okay. So if we get the chance to untap the basic land into Virtual Loyalty. Yep. Digging. If you're building fractals, you're very likely playing some sort of Hardened Scales deck, which is probably like the biggest reason why I haven't done it so far. So I didn't hit land drop, which means I have to Rampant Growth like no matter what. Like I have to do that. And then I can Gallant Citizen to redraw a card. I can Virtue of Loyalty, make a token. I'll just play Gallant Citizen now to get the card draw. Kudzu's cool. Combat. I could attack with everything except the Apparition, lose a token, try and like undo a lot of the damage. I think I need that. Like it does just feed something to the Ice Tail Explorer, but we gotta undo all the damage that's being done from all that life gain. Then I'm not gonna draw with Lauren. Like we have enough cards out now that we can just like do it. Also, we have like this abandoned air temple that we can use as well. Honestly, it probably would have gotten lethal if we had just like root the One Ring. You see, your opponent can't cast spells, but like it doesn't say anything about playing. Alright, so they're protected for a turn, and that might just be enough to get them there. You've had your Quandrix deck made 8, 12, 12 fractals. That's a fun thing to see. I mean, it is a fun thing to see. I just tend to not like Hardened Scales decks. Like, if you'll allow me a moment to be honest without, like, you know, potentially turning this into, you know, a confrontation. I don't like +1/+1 counters decks. I don't have a lot of fun playing those. It's like you just... The game plan of like, I want to make a big thing and then smash you with the big thing is severely lacking in the thing that I enjoy, which is, you know, getting to make a lot of decisions. And like, there's nothing wrong with playing put things on big things. The Bristly Build deck, the Tifa decks, those are very effective decks. They're very effective aggro land-based decks. Hardened Scales decks can get out of control. I've seen an Aragorn deck that did a lot of damage, but also just... Life's hard enough as it is, man. Oh, God. They're gonna get their Nissa back on the next turn too. Yeah. Like they are just gonna like get to go off. Yeah, I think we're cooked. Like, I can play Virtue of Loyalty, and I can make things big. They play their Formidable Speaker. If they turn that into, like, a Crater Hoof, then, like, I'm just dead on the crackback because I can't get through the One Ring Fog. Yeah, we'll see if we draw into, like, anything that helps us survive an extra turn. Oh, yeah, Emrakul, okay. I mean... Emrakul doesn't win if we can just like crack them back, right? Like we'll have to sacrifice a bunch of things. The One Ring is going to draw them a ton of cards. They just milled their Crater Hoof. Definitely not easy. Maybe cast a color spell, mana value 7 or greater, sack this land. If you search your library for... Nope, never mind. They just have it. Because, like, then they get to take their extra turn and they get to grab another Eldrazi. Nope, that's GG. The 12/12 wasn't from stacking counters on it. It was from Fractals entering with +3 counters and having Innkeeper's Talent doubling season. Same difference, man. Like, that's still putting a bunch of counters to make a really big counters thing. Like, everyone has their thing that they don't particularly find engaging gameplay. And I'm not even saying like it's a bad thing to enjoy it. But I am saying that this type does not spark joy. Alright, so we're up against Vorinclex, considerably easier than... So we can go Studious First Year into Gallant Citizen. Or... That's still... I think I can take. Even, like, probably just use the Rampant Growth to try and get there a little. The Virtue card you have is Virtual Knowledge of Virtue Strength. Oh yeah, absolutely want to use the Rampant Growth now. Or board a little faster. Racing the green deck. The 3, 4... Be doing with her a lot. 3, 4, one more land. They can play Vorinclex. I can hit the Elvish Mystic, but I think it's just important to get the Aura board on tap. And then attack in. They're not going to take us. So this is 3 point of damage. Love using Virtue of Strength in any green deck. I mean, yeah, it triples mana. Get things fast enough. I want... See, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't get the transform yet, but you do get to get big. So let's just drop 4 board and start scaling you up. And now you have to have something in your last 2 cards that deals with it before we get to go crazy. Cemetery Prowler's not going to do it. Yeah, I'll take 6. Okay, go ahead, drop that. Let's play Cutsil first. Go Static Prison. We're gonna put 2 counters on everything. Counters on this is whenever one or more creatures, so I get to draw 1 card. Grell. Okay, that makes this easy. Here's Static Prison. Now you don't get to transform Vorinclex right away. Here's Skrell. And then we win because Ouroboros is like probably one of the best things that we can be doing in a deck that wants to just like spam a ton of creatures to the board. All right, there we go. I'll say, let's see. I also typically don't enjoy playing just like a bunch of creature spam aggro, but like at least it is viable to a degree. It's viable in that you can like play a bunch of threats and interaction check your opponent, make them have the removal. You know, you just keep presenting threats. And then I'll add this on top. I don't like hardened scales typically, but I'm also on a mission to play a bunch of decks that I don't normally play and build. So we'll definitely be playing the Fractal Hardened Scales deck at some point. Elvish Mystic, Swords to Plow, Fin Fan Foom. Whenever you cast an insert sorcery spell that targets an artifact or land, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. I think this is going to be a land destruction deck. I think this is destruction. Ragavan. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so we did pass the removal check. That's fine. Now I can go into potentially either Scattered Groves. No. Basic Force is just better. Oh, wait. No, I need to play green. I need to play green. And then immediately what I'm going to do is I'm going to sack this elf because a mono red deck is going to be using a lot of burn-based removal. So grab another green, grab another white, put another green into play, hold the white. Next turn, we'll play Bright Glass Gearhulk. We'll search for some removal for Fin Fan Foom. Scrap Gorger, you're just a little late to the party, bud, but that's okay. Bright Glass Gearhulk searches for 2 cards of hard choice. To grab Static Prison. Shadow Spear is cool, but I want... What do I might need the extra land drops from Kami. I don't know if I need to use Mother of Runes. Guide of Souls would be good for maintaining static. I think I'm just going to grab Kami. Yeah. And then we can cycle the Kami, play the static, play out the Groves. I'm getting out basics so that way we can play around Magus of the Moon and also Blood Moon. Which, hey, look! We played around Blood Moon! Every cast instant sorcery that targets an... Yep. So, we're just going to go ahead and eat the Goblin for free. The restricted office lecture hall enchantment mixed with greater oromancy means you can't target... I can't target my things. Yeah, that's how Pillow Fort Enchantress works. Okay then. So, like I said, we are gonna go ahead and... Do I need to do this on my turn? No reason for me to do. Alright, go ahead. Punchies. We can grab the Scrap Gorger. Like, my hand is literally nothing but lands. Let's see. And permanent you control gain hexproof. Destructible. That's important. Honestly, one of the people who like hangs around the server, she plays rooms and she really likes playing a lot of the fun Pillow Fort Enchantress type stuff. Alright, so Fin Fan Foom's out. They have 2 mana. They could have like a Cleansing Fire, I guess. Interesting. Very interesting. So here's another forest. Here's Cutzel. Now Cutzel can happen. And if they want to do something, they have to do it now. Alright, now they just like don't get to do anything. Which means your Static Prison. I have to eat the commander. I don't think Reflection's going to do a whole lot otherwise. Then... Back with the Gearhawk. Back with the Gearhawk. Scrap Gorger eats something out of the graveyard at the end of the turn. I can cycle this Scattered Grows away. I'm kind of light on white sources, though, so that's also something to keep in mind. If I need to, I can sack the Cutzel to the Flare Fortitude. I think the Bright Glass is going to be a lot better. That's... Yep, that's about right. So now Chandra can minus and kill the Gearhawk? I think I want to protect the Gearhawk. I think I'm willing to eat the Cutzel. Yeah, so let's cycle this first and foremost. And then I'm going to lose my Cutzel anyway. So let's just like protect the thing that has trample and first strike. You have 1 mana. I don't know of anything that could actually be able to redirect a Flare Fortitude. Okay. So they're gonna flare. Gotcha. Well, that's not nothing. It's like that does work. Alright, and then go ahead. First Lightning out of the graveyard. Yeah. Okay. Oh, shit. They actually did leave their commander in there. Okay, well. Alright. Yep, Renoa's out. Giver of Runes out. Got this Besage if I need. No attacks. Pass turn. I'll use the Besage to hit the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki if they put something really bad on the stack that I don't want them doubling. How much defense do you need for a deck of defenders? If you're playing a Toughness Matters deck, like, you need enough creatures to just, like, have creatures, you know? That's all that's really counts. It matters. So, like, asking that is like asking how long is a piece of string. It's however many you need to make the deck work. Different decks are going to have different thresholds. Because if you just like jam in everything you want, maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. And then even then, it depends on like your preference. So honestly, the only way to figure it out is still just like, you know, pull the old Frizzle. Ask questions, make observations, make mistakes, and get messy. Alright, we did. Let's see, we lost 3 cards to their, what was it, 2? If I get to untap with Giver of Runes, I'm pretty good. Like, I do lose Renoa. Okay. Yep, target creature you control deals power. Honestly, that works. Because now I can kill the Reflexive Kiki-Jiki. They would have to have a redirect ability for this, right? That would redirect to Static Prison. This is a close game. No shade on that. Call me a critical Miss Frizzle. Nah. I'm the skeptic. Like, should I be trying to, like, encourage curiosity? Absolutely. And I try, and I want to, and I try. But also, like, honestly, if I do, like, a VTuber rebrand, what I should be doing... What I should be doing is I should rebrand as, like, a Bog Witch or something. Because that really is just, like, more of my mindset. For better and worse. Let's go ahead and eat the Hulk Smash. Let's see, this is whenever it becomes tapped. Becomes tapped. Then just go ahead. We're just gonna go ahead and Name human. I'm gonna play out Lion Sash. I'm gonna use the Capture Souls to equip onto, say, Angelo. And we'll put it on it. If I send like 2 creatures that no, honestly, they would have to have like double removal anyway. But like then that gets dicey. I'm just gonna send everything to Chandra. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take the Cold Steel Heart because they have any sort of artifact shenanigans. What is this? If it's a permanent? Yeah, if it's a permanent, it gets a counter. Destroy target artifact with a Lion Sash. Let them use a second copy. This puts a counter on exile target permanent. Exile Blood Moon. Another target creature you control. Now I'm doing this just to like eat stuff out of the graveyard. What's the difference between critical and skeptical? Skeptical is like, you know, you're not taking things at face value. And you're always trying to like question what is and isn't. Delicate. See. Critical is like being critical of a thing means to really break it down and examine what is and is not. The difference between skeptical and critical, that is actually a really good one. Also, this is takedown 4. Down 4. The untapped. Honestly, that's a good question. Like, critical definitely has a connotation of, like, negativity, right? Like, you're just constantly shooting things down, like, oh, you know, this doesn't work because of this reason, this doesn't work because of that reason. I have so many lands. They're Fang Fan Foom. Not gonna do a whole lot. And then go combat. 4. You don't mind my whimsy and curiosity, but you do reel me in with your skepticism. Yeah, I think that's really like the crux of it. Because like that's the thing, you know? Anytime that you are engaged in the hobby for a long time, you get really used to seeing. Oh, that's not good. Creature off the top. Creature off the top. That should be game. Alright, GG, Fiend Fang Boom. GG's. I definitely don't mind whimsy, but like, there's definitely a level of knowledge at which point, like, when you get to the point where you start seeing the code inside the matrix, you start having to like remind yourself over and over again, no, it's okay, it's okay. They don't know, they don't understand, they didn't take the red pill. And you just forget, right? You just forget what it was like to be a new player and to check things out, and to, you know, when you see and interpret the world, you can see and interpret it in ways that are very upfront, very easy to decipher. Like when people, like when I have new players checking out the Magic part of the stream because I'm a VTuber playing Magic. Like they check me out because, you know, it says I'm a VTuber, right? And I've got a model and it looks nice and everything like that. And they come in and they also see that, like, you know, it's a queer, neurodivergent friendly place that encourages questions and stuff. And they go, hey, what's your favorite color? Because that's one of the first things that they know about Magic is that it's a game based on colors and like the 5 colors. And, you know, they ask it the way that Vanguard players ask what clan you play. Or like, I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to think of a faction media that isn't like, you know, stupid wizard media, but like, you know, if you pretend for a second that Divergent is a popular franchise, it's like, oh, what faction are you in? And you know, it's the shortcut of simplified information, right? This is the quickest and easiest way to find out if I vibe with you or not. And unfortunately, like, I am so steeped in like the nuance. Like, I'm here thinking about things on a post-grad level, and I keep forgetting that I need to, like, you know, meet my juniors where they're at. So when I get someone who comes in and they're like, you know, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite dinosaur? What, you know, what creature types do you like and dislike? It takes me a second to remember where I'm at, because I'm like, well, I play everything, right? I play everything. I play all the creature types. I play a bunch of different decks. I play all the colors. Like, I do have like some preferences, but nothing that I would think is like, you know, a favorite or a hate. But then again, that's also like the autism talking, so who knows? Gonna say chaotic. I've been playing Magic for 2 years. I wouldn't call myself a newbie, but you definitely have more knowledge and experience than I do. Yeah, I mean, like, it's all relative, you know? Because I've been playing Magic since 2010, 2011. Yeah, I've been playing regularly since like 2010. So I've got nearly 2 decades worth of experience here. Oh, this is up against the Gitrog monster. And like, I can definitely ramp with this hand, but I don't know if it's like a good hand against it, considering how little I'll remove. I can go Grazer turn 1, and then I can go Fuel Tank Feaster, Elvish Mystic. And that lets me double spell while also ramping up into Renoa. They probably have like removal. Oh, that's actually... They let on Snow Covered Forest. If I can like resolve Mother of Runes and like play Renoa into that, that's pretty good. Like, here's the thing, right? I don't even consider myself like a good player, because every time I play competitively at locals or whatever, I get absolutely thrashed, right? I exist in some pretty high power environments. Also, I don't have enough mana to play. Go ahead, we'll play the Wall of Omen. Draw. Disciples of draw. That would definitely be like a huge draw after Renoa. But... okay, so here's the plan. I'm going to play Renoa out. We're going to attack, sacrifice like Big Dog to Disciple of Freyalise to reload, and pray to God that we don't just, god damn it, lose to 2020. God damn it. Well, that just happened. So... I'm talking to Permanent Control. That's probably game. Yep, sometimes that just happens. Sometimes that just happens. What set got me into Magic? See, I like that question. I like that question because it's very specific, right? It's very specific, so that helps me out a lot, actually. The set that got me into Magic was actually the original Ravnica City of Guild that came out in 2004, I want to say. Like, I didn't start playing regularly until 2010. But I bought my first Magic cards with, like, 8th or 9th edition and then Ravnica City of Guilds. And when I started playing, I loved White. I loved the soldiers and the angels. So I got the start deck, and it had like the Infiltrate, the infantry shooter. It had the ballista thing, and then I also had like the red one because it's like, oh, red is just like my favorite color in general. You know, look at my model. I, for one. One's a little like this one has the potential to be good. So I can Stompy into cultivation to try and catch up. I would need to draw into another land. We can try it. I think the might does like get us there. If I go with Rugged Prairie turn 1, I lose that on the might, but that's not like a huge issue. Enemies that I guarantee play Stomper on curve, which might be the bigger issue. And then if there's anything that I need to hit, I can play the Wire Might afterwards. Okay, no. Don't have to worry about that. That's good. For me, it was Strixhaven School of Mages. Just thought it looked cool. I mean, yeah, Strixhaven is like really good. If there was a set to like get involved with, okay, I will gladly take an upgrade there. If there was a set that just, you know, inspires people and gets them into Magic, like I'm glad that Strixhaven is there to do a lot of that. I love Strixhaven, but Ravnica was my original. Ravnica was my original, and that is a set that is built on faction. So when I got the start deck for all of the guilds that had white in them. So that was Boros, Orzhov, Selesnya, and Azorius. And that was how I originally got started loving all of these games. Also, I am just gonna go attack. Bonk. Here's Stomper. Stomper goes and grabs White Source. Stomper goes and grabs a White Source, puts that into play. Sacrifice the Stomper. Grab 2 more White Sources. Put that into play. Next turn, I can transform the Sensational She-Hulk. Or I can play Restless Prairie, play Renoa. Brody Man, hey, what's up? What is up, my dude? It has been a hot second. I could go Restless Prairie. Let's go... Almost definitely play Pant Laza this turn, right? Right. If they Pant Laza and they flicker, I want to get lost. Eh. And then, like, once I had the 4 start decks for Ravnica, like, that was just my lens. That was just my lens for... Ah, no, the Faithful Absence gets there. No, no. Oh, actually, this is pretty great. Crack the clue first and foremost. In case we hit something cool. It wasn't cool. Not even a little bit. Attack with dog. Is this like Naya control? No, there's not. That's not enough cards to just like be like that. Okay, so there's Pant Laza. Pant Laza is gonna happen, and then I'm gonna wait to see what they hit, because I'm just gonna leave up this Patriarch's Humiliation. I could like get lost and eat it out of their hand, but I'd rather just hold that open, I guess. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ah, Toski's a good one. I want... Okay. Then... Didn't hold any priority for any sort of flicker effect. Dog deck! Yeah, it's dog deck. Oh my god, actually, hold on. Draw cards equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Put that many creatures from your hand onto the battlefield. This is wild. Because, like, that might actually just, like, be what breaks the game open for them. And I am so mad about that. At least they'll draw, like, 1 card. Because the Drover of the Might was getting its power and toughness from Pant Laza. So they will get to draw 1 card. And if they don't have anything, then we're set. 1 mana, discard 3, exactly. Gwenna and Topi or Stompy are, like, not the worst. First precon I got was the Quandrix precon. Adrix and New Twincaster were favorites. Honestly, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Okay, so we have Skyclave Apparition. Let's just go ahead. We'll play Toski. And then go next to attackers. Get to draw 2 cards. Bristlebane Battler and Elvish Mystic. Yeah, we'll play the Battler now. We'll hold up the Get Lost. How are we doing today? Honestly, not too bad. We've been having good chat. We've been talking about, like, just first sets and stuff. Actually, Brony Man, yo, what was, like, the first set that got you into Magic? Talk about how, like, for me, it was, Alright, we'll just go ahead and Get Lost that. They definitely have enough mana to, like, replay Pat Laza. But, yeah, there we go. There we go. GG's. GG's. So, yeah. For me, it was City of Ravnica. And then, honestly, I ended up gravitating towards Selesnya and Boros the most. Selesnya had, like, just a ton of tokens. They did... I loved playing with tokens from the very beginning. When I was playing kitchen table Magic with my friends in college, the thing that I loved doing the most was just spamming dozens and dozens of soldier tokens onto the table. And I would go and buy, like, the tokens out of the penny bin, right? Just so I could represent all the tokens that were on the board. Don't catch me with, you know, using dice to represent tokens. No. We are using cardboard, because you will see how freaking big my army is. Because I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has, like, exactly 5 to 6 monster slots, depending on what era you're playing. So the idea of just, like, I get to play... just keep creating a massive load of tokens was so cool. Return to Ravnica, I think. Then I got back in with original Ixalan and back again with Brothers War. Those are good sets to get back in with. Like, really good. Like, oh my god. I didn't start playing Magic regularly until 2010 when Scars of Mirrodin came out. But I also didn't, like, realize that there were actual booster sets and worlds and stuff until Innistrad came out, right? With booster packs and pre-releases. So, Innistrad was my first, if not second, pre-release ever. So, Innistrad was a blast. I love Innistrad. My Planeswalker OC, she's from Innistrad, and I have a fic written for her on AO3. And then after Avacyn Restore came out, I found out that we were going back to Ravnica. I goddamn near passed out. Because it's like, oh my god! Innistrad was fucking awesome, and then we get to go back to the world where I bought my first Magic cards ever? Holy shit! It was so great. I think we got time for like 1 or 2 more. I will use cardboard, but I will use dice if it's more tokens than I have. I mean, like, if you have that many tokens, you should probably be winning the game. And at that point, like, you don't need to keep track of it anymore. Like, I get it. I get the logistics of having to keep track of that many fucking tokens. But it's like, nah. If I wanted to make that many tokens, I will just win the game. And Brothers War consistently, except for off and on, maybe one set at a time. That sounds about right. Okay, chat. Actually, you know what? I'll let you pick which one we're gonna do. I want to build a Quandrix Fractal deck. Which commander do I use to build that? Because we have a few different options. And even some, like, offbeat options that aren't actually from Quandrix itself, but they're blue-green so they can play all the cards. And they would actually be really good for a +1/+1 counter stack. River of Runes. We got... Land. And we're up against a Johnny. Why are we up against a Johnny? I thought they fixed the... I thought they modified the matchmaker for this. Oh, I'm gonna crash out. I have Gilded Goose into Spellbinder into a Clave, so... But, like, my lands don't line up for that. I need to pick up an untapped land. in my next 2 draws. Portable hole to take the Gilded Goose. Okay, yep, that's about right. This always comes to play tapped. This is unconditionally tapped. Go ahead, play that. Go ahead and drop the spear. Pray that we can hit it. Use Berta? I do like Berta. You could also use the twins, Adrix and Nev themselves. The new Commander deck cover card. Ron, which new Commander deck cover card? God, no! 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 I can't play my Skyclave Apparition! Shit! Okay, next best thing. We'll play the Elite Spellbinder. We'll see if we can take their sack outlet. That's the best I can do. Alright, so they're going to pitch a card to Solitude to get rid of it. That's fine. Okay, hold on. For as long as that card remains exiled, its owner may play it, and a spell cast this way costs 4 more. Okay. Lithomatic Barrage. Someone really doesn't like it playing against Katara. Helen is really good. Tiefling Outcasts. This is a really aggressive start. Tajik is probably just like the most thing that they can do. But I'm tempted to take one of these, so that way they just like can't. If they play the Tajik, I have to deal with the Tajik. Yeah, Johnny is still just like there. Helen's just like a 2-1. I think I have to hit the Tajik. If the Tajik just like straight up beats me if it hits the board. They have to rip 2 lands in a row to make that happen, but like that's a thing that they can do. I can get Lita down, and she can start making foods. Tiefling Outcast. Okay, yeah, they hit the 1 land that they needed to make that work. Virtue of Loyalty. That's an instant speed, and I can try ambushing them. I'll do it. I'll see if I can ambush them. I mean, they also have this Lithomatic Barrage, but that's a sorcery. Cast the blockers. Block a Johnny. I can also, like, equip the Shadow Spear now and start tracking back to bolster my life total. Yeah, they're just going to replay a Johnny. They hit the 4th lane they needed, which means that Tajik would have been a problem. Alright, that's a forest. Hero, the decks only have 1 cover card? Okay, Fran. How many decks have cover cards then? How many decks have cover cards? Riddle me that, Batman. Okay, let's go and... Actually, if I was to Skyclave Apparition... This is still correct. Eat the Ajani. And then they pick it up because we have Shadow Spear on the crackback. This has Vigilance, so they can't even, like, profitably attack in. They have a Lithomatic Barrage, which will kill, like, 1 thing. But we have enough gas, just barely, to keep this going. So, there we go. Intro decks, Planeswalker decks, Commander decks. That's what I'm saying, Fran! That's what I'm saying! Like, that is so non-specific and unhelpful. Like, what was the new Commander deck cover card? Are you talking about, like, the Marvel frickin' cover decks? Because, like, there were 4 of those, Fran! There were 4 decks, Fran! Okay, maybe we got matched against that Johnny because, like, it was just, like... Maybe it was a player on a losing streak. Like, just, like, someone having, like, just the worst day and the matchmaker was like, okay, this is probably appropriate. No, the Quandrix one, you asked about building Quandrix. But Fran, that's an old Commander deck. Right now, the Marvel decks are new decks. Also, none of the Marvel decks are only blue-green. Well, see, you understand my confusion now, right? You understand my confusion now. So, like, let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. We're going to be transitioning to Final Fantasy here in a second. But, like... Let's see. Commanders that are blue-green. No, you literally don't. You said the new commander, right? You said the new commander. The Marvel decks are new, but there isn't a blue-green commander among them. That is why I was confused. Now, if you had said, "Hey, Hero, why don't you play the face commander from the Quadrix Pregron?" I would have been like, you know what? That's definitely an option, Francois. Thank you so much for suggesting it after I did earlier. It's okay, folks. It's fine. This is just how it would be like. Okay, it's giving us all. See. I was trying to like make Kiana and Abraham work at one point, and just like, just so slow. That's like the biggest thing against us. Dino Substance, Dino Theory. See, there's the thing. Arwen, Brawn. When Brawn enters, draw a card. Literally just have like a cantrip in your command zone. Cannon is okay, but not what we wanted to be doing. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to Jackal's power, copy that spell. Also, like, that creature spell. Make a bunch of ants. Wandering Mistral. Simona's Ramp. Stormman. Goose. Adu. Anina, who you would think would be really cool for that, but it's just like a bunch of X-Spell stuff. Yeah, you asked about Quandrix, and the new deck for that would be the new Quandrix team. Ron, you completely misunderstood the question. Actually, it wasn't even a question, it was a poll, right? So, like, you would be voting for, like, just literally the face commander of the pre-con deck. But I am asking, not just you, but everyone else, like, hey, you know what? Which commander do we run? And so we also have, like, a vote for, Twins. You can play Berta. Like, we do have options here. We have options. Troyan. Nadu again. There's Precon's Zamone. First spell you cast with X in its mana cost. Each turn costs 1 less for each counter on her. Whenever you cast your first spell with X in its mana cost, put 2 counters on her. That's such weak payoff in a one-on-one format, I feel like. Like, it does make the X spells cheaper, and it does have that fun, like, infinity notion. But, you could play, like, Zamone All Questioning. She literally makes fractals, but it's a legendary fractal. Give your instant if a land enter the battlefield. You control a prime number of lands, you make Primo. There's the Twin Casters off of the special guest sheet. I didn't realize this was on Arena until, like, literally last week. This is like a token doubler with Ward 2. The issue with trying to run this as a Brawl commander, though, is that you're paying 4 mana for a card that dies to 1 mana plus its ward cost. So it's like, it kind of offsets its own protection, right? Like, if they just like play straight up murder, then it's 5 mana to do so, but they're not going to be doing that. They're going to be playing like really efficient mana, and just about all of it hits Adriex and Nev. Like, they can play Lightning Burst, they can play Bolt, they can play Fatal Push, and at that point, like, if you have a 4-drop out, they almost definitely have the mana to pay for the ward cost, and it's like, well, okay, I just time walked myself. Even more so because I said I wanted to do fractals. Yeah, but like, I'm also asking if there are any other cards that aren't just like, oh, they directly make fractals, but maybe they have good +1/+1 counter synergies, because that's really what it counts. Like, maybe I actually play Azuri. Like, maybe Azuri is actually just like the better commander for something like that, because every time a fractal comes into play, it's a 0/0, and then usually the effects of the cards put counters on top of it, and then Azuri just piles even more counters on top of that. So, like, did you ever think about that? Huh? Berta is cool, and I did want to make Berta work. But if I play Berta, I'm probably going to end up building her as, like, a troll deck. She has Increment, and then she refunds a mana. But Increment cares about the mana you spend on a spell, not the mana value. So, like, you would have to be casting gradually larger and larger creatures. But she does give you something to do if you just, like, play draw. Actually, Yeah, I think the reason I don't play Berta is because I will just end up playing Draw Go. Like, I could do that, but also, like, I don't think that's what most people think of when they think of a Fractal deck. Yeah, also didn't say for sure you wanted to build one for Arena. Ron, do I ever say I want to build anything for anything other than Arena? Like, I know I do, but, like, do I ever say I do without saying the context, like, Commander deck? Wandering Minstrel. We already have Wandering Minstrel, and it's a Maze's End deck. Ellen, Legolas. I'm not seeing anything else that really says Pardons. Your Sovereign, Quandrix. I mean, OG Quandrix got buffed on Arena. Double the number of counters on target creature. That's so bad, though. Like, it's a 5-mana 5/5, but that's... like, it just adds a Flampler, right? Yeah. The Mount Paradox Sculptor is, weirdly enough, probably one of the better ones. It gave combat of your turn, put a counter on each of up to 2 target creatures you control. Double the number of counters on up to 2 target artifacts and artifacts you control. That matters significantly less. Being a 1/4 body means that she survives removal a lot more easily. And then, like, I have just, like, seen her in action where she comes down, she loads up a couple of really big creatures that are already big, and it's just, like, big times big, and it just, like, beats you down. That's what I'm saying? You build physical decks? Yeah, but when was the last time I actually talked about them? Talked about them or, like, did more than just Theorycraft. Like, I still haven't gone to Commander Night. Like, honestly, I'm a fake Magic player if you really think about it. You could... oh, wait, no! Primo actually got his own card. And it's with twice X counters on it. Whenever one or more creatures you with base power 0 deal combat damage to a player, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Okay, this might be something. This might be something. Like, this one actually wants you to play, like, base 0/0s with counters on them, which is what fractals are. Let's see. If you put 1 in, and that's 4... twice the counters on it, which means it's literally a 2/2 for 4 mana. But then if you put in 5 mana, it's a 4/4. It's based on X, not the total mana you play, which means the commander tax gets a little dicey. I don't know. This might be a potential lead. It might be Primo. I don't see anything else that really does what I want it to do. Yeah, it's the sub-commander for the new deck. I mean, like, I know it's a sub-commander, but also, like, this isn't the cover card, Fran. It's not the cover card, Fran. That would be Zamone. So there you go. So there you go. It's not the cover card. Alright, let's go ahead and play some Final Fantasy. Everything correctly run. I have been working on physical decks though. Like, I have been working on my actual paper commander decks. I just don't talk about it because it's like, what is there to say? Not sure your point. Didn't say Puppy was the cover card. Yeah, but you didn't say it. Yeah, but you didn't say it wasn't. Ergo. Ergo. This is just the cycle. This is just the cycle circling back on itself. Every time I get excited about something, I've got Fran saying, "But Hero, that already exists," or "Yeah, that's a thing." Like, come on, Fran, come on. I know that these things exist. I know that this isn't the first time things are happening. Fran's trying to pull off generational gaslighting. Nah. Okay, so, like, we treat gaslighting like the actual serious thing that it is, partially because, like, I've had relations stuff where that's been an issue. So like, no, at worst, he's rage baiting me. No, I literally was trying to be supportive and give a suggestion. Then why, Fraud? Why? If you're trying to be supportive and give suggestion, why are you acting like I don't know this stuff? I know Puppy is a sub-commander. Why you telling me it's a sub-commander like I don't know it's a sub-commander? Also, do we want to... I should probably go get one. We'll go get the, grab the thing. And even though, like, I'm feeling like mixing some things up this week, we do still have, like, other things we need to take care of as well. Ron doing a key smash. I'm pretty sure that means I win. You know, this was happening in the Discord earlier, too. I was like, aw, man, I love that Destiny heroes can be played as their own archetype. And Fromm was like, it's been that way for like a while, hero. And I was like, I mean, yes, that is true, Fron. However, that doesn't change the messaging here, which is, I love that Destiny heroes can be their own deck. And then Fran's reply was not, you know what? You are correct, and I'm glad that you were happy and excited about the thing. It was, in fact, the main deck was already, like, mostly Destiny heroes. And, like, again, not an untrue fact, but somehow wildly missing the point that I'm trying to communicate here. And the important thing here, chat, the important thing to remember is that no one's feeling too hurt about this, because this is just how he and I go back. This is just how he and I do. No, what I was trying to say is that this is not the first time that Destiny Hero was a strong meta potential running pure Destiny Heroes. I mean, that might have been what you meant to say, but that was not literally the words that you typed out, you know? That wasn't the words that I read. And it's like, I know Fron well enough to know that either he is trying to... If he's not trying to rage bait me, then it's some hodgepodge of he has a thought, and then he tries to communicate it, and it doesn't quite come out the way that he actually intended to say it. But I have no way of knowing what he intended to say, so all I can do is interpret the words that were actually posted. You know, just normal type stuff. Also, I feel like I've seen this person around before. Is it the helmet? Might be the helmet. Which helmet is that? Oh, that's the Flame Lieutenant's helmet. How did I forget that? So, like, we are going to try building the Fractal deck at some point, right? I do want to build the Fractal deck, and I want to have fun trying out the Hardened Scales deck, since I've just been, like, so allergic to playing them beforehand. And we can play one of the Fractal face cards. But they do have to be, you know, potentially viable in 1v1. That's like, my biggest concern. Like, I'm willing to work a little bit in order to make these cards work. Or rather, I'm willing to work a little bit to make them viable. I think the casual queue is going to be a lot better for that. Especially now that the more potent cards are slowly being phased out of the pool. But that doesn't just, like, you know, automatically mean that they're going to succeed. We're going to have to figure out, like, what the game plan is, how they fit into that, and what we can do to support it with Arena's card pool. And, like, maybe it... So we should if I can just, like, Hardened Scales build, right? I feel like that's the starting point that I've been most fascinated by, since that's the goal. Maybe that does mean that we play Primo. Because Primo, on its face, is not a good value. You're paying, what, 4 mana for a, You're playing 4 mana for a 2/2. And then it... Oh, God, I forgot what the rest... All real quick. Okay. So Primo was his name. Primo the Unbounded. Whenever one or more creatures you control with base power Zeal deal combat damage to a player, create a new fractal, put a 1/1 counter on it equal to the damage. So like, take the total damage dealt, make a new fractal, and put that many counters on it. That could work. And we wouldn't even necessarily need to include like fractal stuff in it. You could just like include Hydras. Hydra type cards. We can include some of the God, that Mossborn Hydra is like that would probably be a good put in. You wouldn't need things like Bristly Bill, but we could put in things like Hardened Scales that just like make Primo a little bigger, make the other cards a little bigger, deal more damage, make more fractal. I don't know. I'm skeptical that we want to be using like 2 mid cards to try and like Voltron together into a somewhat playable card. I'm always a little bit leery of that. Because if you think about those types of commanders where it's like, okay, maybe they don't do anything on their own, or maybe they have like some upside, but they really need another thing to be good. I really, really have to scrutinize exactly what you're including for that other half. Like that A plus B type commander, I have to scrutinize how hard the B side of this combo is, right? Because I've seen it be good and I've seen it be bad. Like Feather is an example of a plus B, a ships and pilots type commander, where you can play her and you can do some potentially powerful things, but also if you don't have access to Feather because she keeps getting like countered or killed or whatever, then you're still just kind of trying to play an aggro heroic red-white deck, you know? And you can do that. It'll be a little bit harder, but with the the right combination of cards, you can do that. Maybe like with a Kiln Fiend or a Red Mage's Rapier or something like that. Whereas if you try and do that with a Hilda, I am so sorry. I've tried making Hilda the Ice Queen work so many times, and it is always just like an uphill battle with Snow both ways in order to actually make it work. It doesn't help that like the B side of the Hilda combo is so low in power, because it's like, oh, you're just tapping creatures down, and it's like, well, first of all, what are you going to do against a control deck that doesn't actually like play creatures? Like, where are you getting your value out there? And then the second of all, you're tapping down the creature, so like you're potentially winning on tempo, but that's kind of it. Like, what are you going to do if they just like go super wide, or what are you going to do if they go like way faster than what you can handle, because you just need so much time to set up? The other guy, a bunch of new friends with Repartee. Yeah, she did. I put like 1 or 2 of those cards into my Brawl deck, and like they're kind of cool. Like Graduation Day. Graduation Day is a card that I deliberately had to like make myself find room to put in, because it's one of those cards that kind of challenges the conventional thinking of playing cards that don't do anything without doing other things. And what I've been finding is that it's probably like the best that type of effect is gonna be, because it's not just it's not just giving a counter. It's also the fact that it's only 1 mana, so it's a very, very low cost. No, I just like died instantly. It's a very low opportunity cost, right? Go ahead, you play it just like whenever you happen to have that spare mana, and now even if like the spell itself gets cast away, it gets countered or something like that, you are just building incidental counters it's very much a synergy piece, and Brawl is less about synergy than it is about just like raw power. I think that's the biggest thing that I need people to understand when we talk about the differences between Brawl and Commander. Aside from the fact that, you know, Commander is a multiplayer format and that drastically changes the dynamic, I need them to understand that trying to build fun synergy pieces is not what the format's about. You can make some really powerful synergies. Like, that is a thing that, like, you can do, but more often than not, if you're trying to, like, play efficiently and effectively, like, if you're playing competitive, you're not going to get there on value engines. You're going to get there on the raw efficiency and power level of your removal and threat. And unfortunately, just like we still have, well, not unfortunately, because like, you know, this isn't really a fault of their own. This is like, you know, the root of a lot of unhappiness with something like Brawl, that people will see it as just like, you know, it's Commander, but except you only play against one person, and they'll assume that everything that they do to play Commander translates exactly 1-to-1. And that's the kind of notion we have to dispel. Oh, I forgot that we are adders. Okay. You know, I don't know that I've actually taken anything out with the sniper rifle. I need to be a lot more judicious. I keep thinking that my sniper ult is just gonna like one shot, and like that ends up not being the case. Like, Feather is probably one of the better A plus Bs. Hilda is definitely one of the worst. I have seen people say that they have started seeing some success with Captain America's shield and Hilda. Like, the shield that gives +0/+8 and is also indestructible. I can see the reasoning behind it, and I'm curious. I want to give that a shot. Let it not be said that I don't, like, at least give these things a try before I, you know, dismiss them entirely. Like, I might be skeptical, but I do also try to my best to adhere to, you know, shut up and play the card to figure out whether it's, like, worth it or not. So, at some point, Hilda's going to make a return, and she's going to do her best Captain America impression. I like the changes that we made to Renoa earlier, though. I think we got matching up against a few decks that we just were not prepared to handle. Like, I'm not sure what you do against a gimmick deck like Thassa's Oracle, Ocean's Bounty, Treasure Hunt. Like, Treasure Hunt, Oracle, Thoracle is... You need specific interaction in order to, like, beat that, or you just need to see if your opponent actually just, like, whiffs. And our opponent this time, they, like... I don't think that they were playing the hyper-efficient version, which is actually to play less of the cards. Like, there's a few Seek 2s in Arena now, and Conventional Wisdom says that you actually only play, like, slightly less, even though that decreases your chance of potentially drawing one. You do that because when you do play one, then you guarantee hit the 2 cards that you need, and I'm dead. And it seems like our opponent's playing the one with the extra spell in it, which can and does actually mess up the sequencing quite a bit, unless you're doing what I did, which was to play the Quistis Trap version, or some other version that has the ability to, like, play around it a little bit. Yeah, we just have to keep... Actually, how close? Eh, not too far out. Get that gear. All of us. Oh god, what were the other decks that we were having like a hard time against? There was the Azusa ramp deck. couldn't really do a whole lot there, but I want to say that what I should have done was mulligan to a more aggressive hand. We kept one that had a decent amount of answers, and we were able to answer some Crucible effects to slow them down. But at the exact same time, it's like they play like pretty much every Crucible effect they can. So even if you answer one, they just almost always have a second one queued up. Especially when they have like all the tutors to grab the Ice Toe Explorer too. And at that point, you really would just be better off developing your board and like trying to push and race as hard as possible. And then you see that like, hey, you know, not answering them at all means that they can actually just like go faster than you can because you're trying to play like, you know, quote, fair creature decks. Which again, unfortunately, Brawl is not really conducive to. Like, we beat the Vorinclex deck because the Vorinclex deck is just like a supremely slower version of what the Azusa deck is trying to do. What else did we play against? Because, like, I'm gonna be honest, I just kind of like I almost feel like I slept walk through the Magic portion. Looking back on it, because we were having some good discussions, and even though I was playing the games, I just wasn't committing to memory. I might have to actually like check the VOD out to remind myself what we played against for tuning purposes. I remember we played against Pantlaza. But like, Pantlaza also just kind of didn't do a whole lot. We lost against the Gitrog. But Gitrog had a Toxic Deluge into Merit Lodge, and it's like, I guess strictly speaking, I could have tried a couple of draws to see if I got anything. But realistically, I think what happens instead is they play out a couple more lands. They can get the Gitrog monster online. They can start doing their Dark Depth Stain, and then they just profit off of that. They get a chance to draw cards, reload, and they have a 2020 indestructible flyer that I can't block because my board got wiped, and so did my Razor plus other runes. If that Toxic Deluge was it. We had a chance before then, but sometimes there are just decks that, you know, get to run Wraths, and it feels really bad to be playing creatures on like that. I swear to God, I do need to rebrand into Bog Witch or something. Either rebrand into like super grumpy Bog Witch, and then everyone's gonna get the exact vibe that I actually. When that happens, Baba Booing. Actually, what would happen? Thinking about stuff. Oh well. Where are we going next? Are they trying to go south? That doesn't seem right considering that we'll be pinched, but here for the experience. But like, I still like the Renoa deck too. Oh wait, hold on, also I'm getting pinged on Discord. What? Oh! My wife is working on putting together her Blood Bowl team. Today was just not a good day for kids. Oh well. Go through and get all the stuff. That's actually, hold on. I have a leveling roulette that I need to do. Currently tanks? Currently tanks. What do I need to level up tank-wise? We got Astro out of the way. We need to work on Warrior, Dark Knight, and Gunbreaker. I don't mind that. I think I'd like to get Scholar going, though. If I get Scholar going, I can get Summoner caught up. Go ahead and switch over. And then if I can remember my button. Target, party, Royal Ruin, bio. 165 to all nearby allies. My bar real quick. Do I hit physic? Click over here. Gotcha. Just in case I go into like a super low dungeon. Play tactics. Alright. And for weekly leveling. Oh, hello! It switched over to healer. Ding. Honestly, I love playing Scholar. I love playing Scholar because then I don't have to heal. Ah, my portrait broke. I'm gonna fix that. Alright. The dungeon I'm familiar with, at least. Alright, and... Oh, that's right. I have to act. I need to remember how to play Scholar. This is going to be in time, I think. Yeah, we got that crit shield. Alright. We're having a good time playing Rinoa. Rinoa is a bit of a fair creature deck, but I think we can do better. I think we can figure out a way to make her tangibly a bit more viable. Nine, 8. Telling you, this is Also, Ao's just like can't cast anything. Oh my god! Why? Why? It's okay. She's a big girl. She can pull into the mob. Aos, take the wheel. Anyway. This is cost of an ether flow, absorbs damage dealt as... Total proportion of damage dealt as HP, not MP? Huh, for some reason I thought it was, Oh, I learned. So if we can make Rinoa just like a fun, big creature thing. Oh my god, I get to actually like be proactive with shields. I forgot how much I missed this. Shields over heals every time. Wait, why am I casting Broil? That's a DPS loss. Art of War is actually just like the better DPS. The only reason you don't do it is because it eats all your mana. But it just like actually kills everything faster. Tether break. Ah! Aos, help me! Okay, what were we doing? Backing ground. Anyway. What was I... So, really the biggest issue with Rinoa is speed, but there's only so fast you can go when you're already, like, dropping out tons and tons of mana door. That is just the cost of playing a 5-drop. 5-drop, 4 mana. Like, it's fine in theory. The biggest issue facing Renault is that she doesn't have, like, immediate board impact, you know? Like, she's a 4/4 without an ETB. Doesn't trigger when you go to a battle phase or attack. She needs, like, a whole turn off before she actually can start doing hashtag the thing. And that's the biggest problem. So you really just, like, need some sort of protection. You need, like, your mother, whatever. You need to be able to untap, because you don't want to time walk. Okay, if I just, like... I am probably gonna have to overheat. That's fine by me. God damn, what is with all these dragons? I don't have the gear level to just, like, ignore the damage. Taking damage is cringe, but I am free. They're always like this. They're always like this, I swear to God. Also, like, slapping the ground means that you don't have to, like, take your target off. Wait. Building commanders like Renault it like a challenge, but I think ideally you just exhaust all of your opponent's removal before you play her, and then, like, whatever creature is the one that benefits the most from Renault being out. Just to live long enough to survive this. You got it. Taking damage is cringe! So saith my mentor. Spider C cider. C Eider spider. Something like that. I don't know. I've got, like, no. The important thing is that you told the truth. Hilda is, like, a really cool command. Like, just keep going back and forth on, like, how to make her viable. It should be as something as easy as just play all the untappers, but then because you're playing, like, basically draft chaff type cards, don't get a chance to, like, on the shields, but wait, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be in here. Follow up on the ground. That's all it is. Oh wait, no, I was on the wrong side of that. No. I say nay. Playing any of the commander face cards, most of them, for the most part, don't translate the way that you want them to. Not like just, like, 5 around. So, like, I'm also skeptical. Gonna Primo was in fact his name-o. But Then you just do... Beat into the brain, beat up Hog, the giant nerd. Oh, I am... All I could have needed on the Hat of Healing, and I got it anyway. I might need to change a topic, because I'm starting to, like, sputter. Having to, like, go back and forth within, like, remembering how to actually play my job versus, being entertaining is not quite how we pictured spending our Tuesday. Just slap the ground! Quick, Dark Knight, go! Go! That shield's only going to last another 15 seconds! Go! Go! You're wasting precious shield! There we go. No, it disappeared before I could get whacked. What a waste of a perfectly good crit. Go. Pass the circle. If I had to change the topic, though, I want to talk about Blood Bowl. Can't, like, how proud I am. Painting the mini. Painting the minis was really the most daunting thing when I got model kits that I wanted to play with. But now it's like, it's just relaxing. You know that painting minis is like painting, adult coloring book? True. Okay, now. No, it's okay. Stop moving. Stop moving, tank. Your job is to take the damage. It's fine, I promise you. You're not in danger. Stop it. Reason. Blood Bowl is so sweet. I love that I get to roll so many things, right? Like, the biggest reason I have trouble going to play Power of the Apocalypse games from playing D&D, because Power by the Apocalypse just uses like a 2d6 system, and it doesn't actually let me use the full collection of math rocks that I've accumulated. Whereas in Blood Bowl, I get to roll lock dice, which have like all the faces stuff, and then I also get to roll d6s. And then I also get a d8 that comes up fairly frequently. And then sometimes you even get to roll the magical d16. Beautiful. That's right. Oh wait, no, why am I need to get out of this habit. I need to get back to slapping this ground. This is the true way. This is how we get through this faster. How much MP does this actually take? It's like 400? Not nothing. What my wife was working on, building Bretonians. Like, apparently Empire type guys. I don't really know what the decor is on, despite the fact that she's told me like a couple of times. All I know is that they're apparently like. No, stop. Or what the hell is going wrong with you? is that they're, you know, basically like French Knight British or something like that. Or maybe like British Knight something. Like I get that they're probably like Knight of the Round coded, probably the best way to put it. Like they have something that's literally called a Grail Knight. He goes around like a deer head on top of his helmet. You know, I get to play Amazons. Like that was like just one of the big selling paths. If I wasn't going to be playing, you know, literally women the deck. I don't remember what my AoE heal is. Oh wait, that's right. I have... Okay, so I do have my Dominable. Okay, that's... We're learning how to play Scholar is it. Like, you got me with Amazons. You got me with Amazons because I love women. I am like probably a top. I am probably like in 1% in terms of like, you know, not to brag or anything, but it is what it is. Anyway. Ooh, XCOG. That's a good one. Love a good XCOG. Tank for fast. Axe. Take out. Not get any of them? Not get any of them. But like, even if they don't have Amazons, they have elves. And I do like me some elves. And also the elves are incredibly pass happy. Makes me really happy because it means like you get to play like the Cebu Wild Gunman or the NASA Aliens. I just love football, and this is like such a fun way to turn that into a board game, to get all the uncertainty stuff, any given play, any given day, that type of thing. Yeah, we're running 2 classes at the time. That ought to fix. And then what? We've got like a couple of other things we can do. But if I'm being honest, I'm getting just a little worn down because of it is really, really hot right now, chat. We're doing okay. We're not dying or anything because we have like a very powerful AC in place, but I might have to call it just a little bit early. So we are gonna go ahead and start preparing to wrap everything up. I do need to remind everyone that this Friday there will not be Final Fantasy Friday because I have a wife day planned. Kind of how the schedules went. So we'll be back for Final Fantasy Friday. Final Fantasy Friday will resume July 17th. Like 2 whole weeks without Final Fantasy Friday. What are you going to do without us? Hopefully something fun. Oh, that's right. Lucky what? I was about to say, home was Lucky in the chat, but Lucky was in the chat. Yeah. And then Lucky's also like, you know, watching a small one. So, you know, there's not a lot of activity there. But he did stop by and he did even leave videos. So thank you for that, man. Tomorrow we'll be back with more daily grind, as you know it is. So over on the YouTube side, if you're on the YouTube side, thank you so much for hanging out. Get to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell people about the stream if you think they'll enjoy it. We'll end it there. Bloop. And then if you're over on the Twitch side, please join us as we get ready to head on out. We love passing on the love. And normally